Hi, my name is Daphne, and today I thought we should do a garden tour because it has been raining all week, which is not a bad thing, although the slugs have been consuming my garden at this point. But it's been raining and the weather's been kind of weird. It's been kind of cold, like I guess cold in terms of it being within like the 60s and raining. Not a good combination to be walking around and checking the garden. So I thought we should do a garden tour because A, I actually would like to see what's changed in the garden. I'm kind of excited about it. Everything's just blooming and blossoming. But also I need to see what I need to do tomorrow. So just have a checklist of stuff I need to do because after the rains there's always stuff to be pruned. There's always bugs to take out because everything I applied to the garden last week has been washed off. So I need to reapply that. And it's good to do that after a rain, especially if the forecast is not mentioning any more rain. So I'm just going to do a little checklist about what needs to be done, what weeds need to be pulled, what needs to be pruned, everything like that. But also it's a good chance for you guys to see what the June garden looks like, especially after a week's worth of rain. So if you're interested, stay tuned. Here are some of the peppers: sugar rush reds, bell peppers, Thai peppers, chili peppers. They're looking very, very healthy. And with these, I will actually leave the peppers on or the flowers on at this point. I just wanted them to get established, but they do look very well established in here. Then we have a cayenne pepper here. Beautiful dill, which needs to be harvested because I don't want it to go to seed. I don't need any more dill seeds. All right, then we have some more peppers over here. These are Thai peppers. They're not as healthy as the ones on the side of the garage, and that's literally just because they get more sunlight. Peppers actually need indirect sunlight or shade, basically, especially with the sunlight we've been getting as of recent. It's been very strong, to say the least. So, but they're doing okay. I think they've actually been they've established now, so they should be good to go. And then this is my blueberry plant, which is starting to bounce back. A lot of the flowers got knocked off in the early spring with that freeze we had, but it does still have some clusters of blueberries. And I had to actually put a covering over these because I saw a couple of the blueberries actually were sliced in half. And I think it's just the birds actually testing to see when they will be done. So they're not going to get me like they did last year. So we're going to protect the little blueberries that we have on this plant. And then in the late fall, I'm actually going to build a large garden bed to house these blueberry plants and just take them out of their 5-gallon buckets. But here's the other one here that didn't have so much damage, and it has clusters of blueberries. So I don't know if you can see that. Look at that. They're not done yet, but they're almost done. I give them about maybe another month or so. And I think these will actually reproduce twice, hopefully, as it's starting to recover a lot from what happened to it in the spring. And as mentioned, these will be taken out of their buckets as well. I think that will help with the production next year. And then out of here, I've cut down a lot of the salad greens that look like they were starting to bolt. But we do have our leeks, which seem to be doing pretty well. Our Merlot lettuce is actually doing wonderful. Paris Island lettuce. These will be the only really 2 lettuces I grow in the spring, summer, just because they do so well. Look, they're not even trying to go to seed yet. And I've been harvesting from these for a while. Just cut and come again. This one might be trying to go to seed, so this will be the next one I take. And then this one as well. But they lasted a little while. And then what I actually have germinating on the side at the moment is actually collard greens. So I'll start to put the collard greens in the ground when they germinate, and then I might also do another round of salad greens as well. So I'll do that, especially because we have another round of rain coming, I think, today. So if I can plant them today, they'll get the rainwater. And I won't have to water them in. So yeah, I think I'll definitely just plant another row of salad greens here, just one row. And then the other 2 rows I'll leave for collard greens. Collard greens in my zone would actually need to be started this month, or at least not yet started and planted this month, for them to be mature enough to harvest for Thanksgiving. And then according to my journal, my garden journal, and then the mustard greens and the turnip greens don't do so well with the heat. They bolt really quickly. And it only takes them 30 days for full maturity. So I'll actually start those in July and plant them out late July, early August. All the tomatoes here. And our Bolted purple bok choy in the back is doing pretty well as well. We have some seed pods coming in. So we'll have some seed pods for purple bok choy very soon. So won't have to buy those anymore. And someone actually did mention a very good comment about cross-pollination when it comes to seeds. The one thing I do, at least for my salad greens, to maintain a true seed is to only plant in the garden the salad greens with one type of salad green at a time, which is beneficial because they usually only go to seed once at a time. So right now in the garden, in terms of salad greens, there's only purple bok choy. If there were others, then what I would do is just enclose this or hand pollinate, or yeah, just make sure that the different salad greens were in different garden beds, a couple of feet away from each other. But yeah, you do want to watch out for cross-pollination. But in my case with my salad greens, I only have purple bok choy salad green seeds in the garden space. I'm not worrying about it cross-contaminating with cross-pollinating with any of the like calendula or the borage. That's a different species. So although if it did, it would be interesting. But I'm not so worried about that. But I will show you guys how I save seeds with the tomatoes, and that's a different process. And then over here it's just a mess. We have St. John's wort. We have a couple of, I'm a little upset. I actually thought this was a squash, and I was babying it like it was a squash, and this is a borage. You see the leaves? How hairy they are? That's a borage. That's a squash. So, okay, whatever. But we have our Cosmo here, which is actually doing wonderful. Multiple heads on this Cosmo. St. John's wort, we have a couple of pea plants back here as well. There's a whole lot going on over here. But we do have a couple of ripe peas. I've actually been coming out here in the morning and eating a few of them. They are absolutely delicious. In stir fries. I've been cooking a few in soups. Look at these. So I know a lot of you guys are growing peas at home, and this is actually the first year I've successfully grown peas. I mean, not enough to like fill a freezer or like to can or anything, but definitely enough to like make salads out of, to steam some for my little man, to make like, to put in salads, maybe to put some in the refrigerator. But anyway, they are absolutely delicious. Normally I come out here like in the mornings, like around 6 o'clock or whenever the sun is up, and I'll just come and like, take like a really, really ripe one. So this one is really, really nice. And you can eat them whole. Expect with this typical variety, you can eat them whole. So even with them being as big as they are right now, they're still very edible as long as you take the strings from the side. Still very edible, but the benefit of having them fully developed is you can just split them open. Sorry, I'm eating on camera, but these are delicious. They're really, really sweet. You split them open, and you have these little seed pods. And literally, I just give like an entire seed pod to my baby. I open them, and he just like literally just eats like the peas directly from out of here. I'll do that as well. And they're sweeter than the actual seed pod at this stage. But you can also just literally take a bite. Sorry. It is delicious. We have our zinnias coming up. Oh my God. Look how beautiful. And these are actually zinnias from seeds that were saved last year. So in truth, I'm not exactly sure. And they're definitely cross-pollinated. So I'm not exactly sure like what the colors would be. I don't know like what type they're gonna be, but it's half the fun. I literally just like take the entire seed head when it's done and put it in a brown paper bag, and then put them in like mason jars to store. And I'll show you guys that process later, but it's wonderful just to be able to take some out and just like grow them, and you don't have to buy any zinnia seeds. Now we know we're gonna buy zinnia seeds, but it's not a necessity at this point. And I actually think, maybe this one might have been pollinated with the candy cane one. I hope so. It'd be beautiful. This is a surprise. I planted these last year, and like I said, the euthanasia never flowered because it's a biannual plant, I think. It flowers in the second year. I did plant a squash down there, but it didn't make it. This is slug damage here. Look at this. We finally got cone flowers. Aren't they beautiful? I have to read up on euthanasia. I actually do believe that it's the root that is used for these plants, which is unfortunate because the root obviously destroys the plant. So I'm going to read up on it and see if there's any other part of the plant I can use. I'm pretty sure there is. But I definitely have enough. And what I didn't know is that this plant spreads like comfrey. So I have a bunch here, and then I have like another set here and a couple more sets over there as well. So I have enough. I think I might have enough root to use and still have flowers for next year because they are gorgeous. And I have some seeds too, apparently. Won't have to buy it anymore. Look at this yarrow. And this is actually some of the yarrow I dug up from the park. Once you recognize yarrow, or once I see it at the park, I normally just bring it home. So it apparently likes the environment. And then we do have some squash. I'm not exactly sure what the variety is. I think these might be patty pan. And we have some very sad okra growing in the back of these. So note to self, germinate the okra before the squash comes in because it looks like it might be shading some of them out. And the slugs are getting to them pretty bad, but the Star of David okra has finally come in. I have one lone purple okra here, another one here. But as mentioned, my theory or my attitude about plants that are dying is just to plant more seeds, and at some point they'll all catch up. So we're just going to plant some more okra seeds. That's just what we're going to do. And spray some more diatomaceous earth down because I do want these plants to actually survive in here. These two are very healthy, which makes me think that they're probably white. They're probably patty pan white squash because they actually have a better resistance to the cucumber beetle. Then over here, look at this sunflower. It's a multi-headed red sunflower, and it actually survived. I have some cutworms that have been, when the sunflowers are very, very small, it actually just like chews through the stem of the sunflowers, and like they'll look like this one day and just be dead the next when they're smaller. So the only thing that actually kills those is BT and diatomaceous earth. So I will have to I'm gonna plant some more seeds in the areas where the sunflowers have died, and we're just gonna keep it moving because I'm going to get sunflowers here. I don't care if I have to start them in June. I will have sunflowers by August. Here are my cherry tomatoes here, and these are sun sugar cherry tomatoes. I'm trying to watch where I'm stepping because we have honeybees all over the yard, and they're kind of upset with me for invading their space. But yeah, we have sun sugar cherry tomatoes, and they are, oh my god, I might actually have some soon. Look at that. Bees have done a great job. We might have our first tomato. This is bee balm, and doesn't she look amazing? Very, very healthy. Yeah, I have a tag in here somewhere. Here's bee balm. Our lemon balm. Can you see this from where she was? And a lot of weeds. A whole lot of weeds. But definitely have tons of lemon balm here. Our chamomile is starting to actually blossom up. Spearmint, which needs to actually be cut down. And then look at this. We finally have lavender flowers. It's only been 2 years. We finally got a flower. This whole area just smells like lavender. Look at that. Just if you run your fingers across it, it's beautiful. And our trusty forks to keep the squirrels from digging in here and uprooting my plants. Oh my god, we finally got flowers. Here is our colossal elderberry. I'm actually going to probably take a few of the flowers for elderberry tea. But you actually may want to do this in the morning. A lot of the pollinators and stuff, including the ants and like the small flying insects, are on these right now. So I'll take them in the morning when there's not so many pollinators on them. And it's kind of difficult to actually clean the flowers without removing the pollen, and what you want is the pollen. But if you get them early enough, you can shake a lot of them off and maybe just do a really, really quick dip in some very diluted vinegar and just let them air dry. And then you have your elder flower tea, which is a very, very mild but very medicinal tea, and it's wonderful, especially if you add a little bit of chamomile. And then we have our blackberry patch, which is starting to get some blackberries, so I do need to cover these up because the squirrels and the birds and the raccoons were relentless last year. I didn't get anything. I think I got like 2, and that is not happening this year. So then our strawberries have been producing like crazy. I have harvested the ones that we had. That's not a strawberry, but they're very healthy. We do have some more coming in here. Yeah, very healthy plants. The smaller one back there. Then over here we have another blackberry back there, a raspberry here, which is starting to produce fruit as well. Yeah, all of these back here have some berries on it. And then this big massive mullein here has finally put on flowers. Isn't she gorgeous? She has to be about 6 feet tall, maybe more than that. But look at that. All right, so thank you so much for watching. I have seen some of you guys' videos, and I know that everyone's gardens are blossoming. Some people even have full basket harvests, which I'm very, very jealous about. But I hope your gardens are doing well. I hope you guys have not had an overflow of insects or weeds or anything like that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions or comments, please just place them within the comments section. I will be very happy to hear about your gardens or any advice you may have, or just if you're just reaching out to say hello. So thank you so much for watching, as mentioned, and you have a great day.